So if you have not read this piece by LA Times Bill Shaken, definitely highly recommend it. We'll drop it down below in the comments, in the info. And it is about the increasingly high prices at Dodger Stadium, how much it costs to go to a Dodger game, how that's going up, and kind of Rob Manfred's comments about it. We'll talk about that. So, Bill, thanks for joining us here on Dodgers Dugout Live. And kind of the first thing I want to ask you is, you kind of look at some of the numbers here. You mentioned that the estimated price for a family of four to see a Dodgers game was $399.68. It's almost $400. That includes a couple hot dogs, a couple beers, a couple drinks, the cost to get in. Was that surprisingly high to you, or is that kind of what you expected considering the roster and just the thing, everything that the Dodgers have put together?
I think what stood out to me in that study is that most of the time when you hear studies about here's how much it costs to go to a game, it's done by resale sites who have an interest in promoting their product, of course. So they talk about 4 average price tickets. This study said, let's talk about the cheapest tickets. And so it sampled the cheapest tickets available from the team, not necessarily on a resale site, for a variety of days over the season. And it averaged out, in the case of the Dodgers, still to almost $400 for a family of four.
And you look at this roster, of course, it's going to be the most expensive roster in the history of the sport when you look at the talent and them being 3-time members of the going past the Cohen tax and the CBT and everything related to that. And look, Andrew Friedman said in the offseason that they are rewarding their fans by going after these players and putting together a roster like this. Is this the biggest reason why the ticket prices are high? Or is it, no, they just have a product that everyone wants to see, and you're seeing consistently 50,000 fans at Dodger Stadium?
Ticket prices are not a function of player salaries. Economists have studied this, people far smarter than I am. Ticket prices are simply a function, like everything else, of supply and demand. The Dodgers have a product that people demand because they win every single year. They have, as you mentioned, a lot of great players that people like to see. They have Shohei Ohtani, who is an international tourist attraction. They actually have thousands of fans that fly to Japan just to see him. There's the demand. So the prices go up.
And you look at all around Major League Baseball. Rob Manfred mentioned it in your piece that last year they sold a combined 71 million tickets. It was the most in 7 years. It feels like attendance is trending in the right direction and business really is booming league-wide.
It is. And if you look at the work Major League Baseball has done over the past several years, a lot of it is focused on getting to a more exciting product that fans want to watch, not just in LA, but all over the country. So if you're watching, say, the Marlins, not to pick on the Marlins, you're not going to see great players, but you are going to see a game in 2.5 hours. And a few years ago, you wouldn't have been able to do that. You're going to see more stolen bases. You're going to see less of the shifts, so hopefully more base hits. Those are things that fans want to see, and that's what the league has tried to do.
And they've had success with that. I think you look at the attendance has gone up. They've had some issues with kind of the regional sports networks that they're continuing to work on and kind of the deal with ESPN. But would you say right now, I mean, it is as healthy as it's been in years, and the Dodgers are just taking advantage of having a team that's embedded in a community that has a large fan base. And look, you're just seeing that because, I mean, look, if attendance was down, you had 30,000 fans at Dodgers games, then maybe they would change the ticket prices, right? But the fact is they have lines outside of the stadium for bobblehead nights starting at 7 in the morning for a 7 o'clock game. You have fans that want to see this team. I mean, this feels like all-time high for the Dodgers.
Yeah, and look, they're probably going to sell 4 million tickets this year. If not, they're going to come very close. That would be a record for the Dodgers. And remember, they play in the largest stadium in baseball. So you can look at teams that get sellouts and you go, okay, but they're not selling 50,000 seats a night like the Dodgers have so far this year because they simply don't have 50,000 seats.
Yeah, and you look at, as you mentioned, I mean, they're on pace to eclipse that 4 million fans mark for the first time in franchise history. You've already had multiple games, 9 this season, where you're looking at a 50,000 fan attendance in a game. I mean, why would the Dodgers reduce ticket prices? Would it just be to say, okay, this is something for the community and kind of the betterment? Or do you think that maybe they should have programs or offer certain nights where it is a little cheaper? I thought it was really interesting, the part that you mentioned about the New York Yankees, who are another marquee franchise in a major market that do offer discounted tickets on certain nights and certain games.
Yeah, it's an uneasy balance, and I don't envy the Dodgers for it. On the one hand, as you mentioned, they've spent a ton of money to put basically an all-star team on the field every night, and they have fans that want to see that every night. So why not pay what the market says the ticket is worth? On the other hand, you say, what's the thing you do to develop a lifelong fan? And the research that the commissioner's office has told me about cites two things. One, did you play ball as a kid, play baseball, play softball, some sort of youth league? And number two, did you go to games as a kid? And if you did those things, you're more likely to become a lifelong fan. So the question is, if you're pricing out families now, are you missing a chance to develop lifelong fans? But from the Dodgers' point of view, I understand one of the things the Dodgers did a few years ago, and other teams have done this too, is to figure out what are our tickets really worth? Because used to be you set the ticket price at the start of the season, that was it. Now they can adjust the ticket prices every day based on analytics, just like on the field, they have analytics in the front office, and they can see, what are the high demand games. So, for example, if you wanted to get a ticket to Friday's game, at the beginning of the season, it would have cost you minimum $50. But guess who's pitching now Friday at Dodger Stadium, right? Paul Skeens. So now you can't get a ticket for under 100. There's no reason the Dodgers shouldn't take advantage of that, because otherwise a broker would have. And for the Dodgers' point of view, who should make that extra $50? The broker or the Dodgers?
See, that's fascinating to me because, I mean, even if they did want to go out there and do something like the Yankees do with $10 tickets and certain times, and yes, it's not like there's hundreds and thousands of those tickets available, but they do exist. It's wouldn't you put it in the pockets of the people that own the team, that are investing in the team versus, like you said, ticket brokers in secondary markets like that. So really, the demand really and how much interest in this team is really dictating this. It feels like that ultimately that there's such a market and such an appetite for this Dodgers team that's not really going to change. But I think the part of your article that kind of got Dodgers fans up in arms was the quote from Rob Manfred, where he said that the Angels could be a cost-effective alternative. He said that one of the leaders in terms of thinking about affordability has been the other team in Los Angeles. I think Dodgers fans are like, well, one, Anaheim is not in Los Angeles, right? Doesn't matter what it says in their name. It also feels like going to see the Dodgers and going to see the Angels are two very different products. To me, it's like when you're driving home and you ask your mom for McDonald's and she says, no, we have McDonald's at home. The Angels would be, hey, no, we got the food at home, right? Versus the McDonald's product. I mean, two different products there that would appeal to fans.
Well, it's two different experiences. I think what Rob was trying to say, like last year when the A's were on their way out of Oakland and somebody asked him, well, what are the fans in Oakland supposed to do? Don't you want them to remain baseball fans? And he said, it's not like we're leaving that market without a team, which was his way of saying the Giants are still there. And if you're an A's fan, that didn't really hit the right note for you. But he was right. There still is a team in the market. So I think what Rob is trying to say here is if your first priority is affordability, and if you see that it's hundreds of dollars to take your family to the Dodgers, are you shut out of Major League Baseball living here? And the answer is no, you're not. You can go to the Angels and buy their $44 family pack where you get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 drinks. It might not be against the team you want to see. You certainly won't get to see Shohei Ohtani, but it is a Major League Baseball experience.
It is an option. It is an alternative. And in your mind, do you think that the Dodgers will kind of consider exploring possibilities of just getting a different level of fan, whether it be demographic, whether it be affordability rate, to get into Dodger Stadium, to do, as you said, open their eyes to Major League Baseball and create those lifelong fans and not look at it as, okay, this is the ticket price. This is just the benefit of having someone who's going to be interested in this team for 40, 50, 60 years throughout their life. Do you think they'll explore any possibilities to create a more affordable experience?
I talked to Stan Kasten about that, and he said, look, we try to do those things. We have programs. We have corporate partners that have programs. You can get sometimes free tickets, sometimes discount tickets. Community relations runs some programs. It's not impossible. But again, they've got a product that people want to see. So what the Dodgers would have to do is block out a bunch of tickets and say, yeah, we could get, I'm making a number up here, $100 for this ticket, but we'd rather sell it for 10. And you mentioned the Yankees are doing that. They don't sell very many tickets for $10, but they have some available. That's a token thing. It's a gesture to the community. Is that going to be a good thing if the Dodgers doing that, or are you basically setting up a situation where 20,000 people line up and there's 1,000 tickets on sale for that game at that price? So it's not a perfect answer either way. The Dodgers have done a very nice job, I should say, with youth baseball and youth softball in the community. And as we talked about, that's one of the two key things in getting kids interested in becoming fans. So they're trying. They know it's an issue. There's no perfect answer.
Yeah, it feels like it's that they have the product that people want to come see, and the logistics of doing something like that could be chaotic. I mean, like you mentioned, having 30,000 fans show up, the secondary market, getting those tickets and them showing up. At the end of the day, they are making right by putting a team on the field that people love to come see. And that at the end of the day is I think what everyone wants, even if, I mean, we have people that watch this show that don't go to any games. They live in like Kentucky and overseas, right? I think people just want to see their team win at the end of the day. So, hey, if you need to, hire a financial planner or do something to get to a Dodger game a couple times a year, I think it's definitely worth it for sure.
Yeah, it's a little bittersweet. I talked to some fans, and maybe you did too, Doug, who after the Dodgers won and LA got its first parade since 1988, and everybody's pouring on the streets of downtown and taking the trains, and all the trains are packed with fans coming in from all over. That for some of those people, that was their look at the Dodgers in person. They did not get to go to a game. Everything was on TV.
Yeah.
Again, there's no perfect answer, but it is something that is happening.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like me growing up in South Pasadena, I mean, I got to go to a good amount of games. But if you offered me the option of, hey, I get to go to one game a month or a couple games a year, but my team is winning the World Series and has Shohei Ohtani on it, versus, I don't know, going to like 20, 30 games with my team's in last place and there's $1 Dodger dogs, I'd take the 1 or 2 games and I just get to watch the rest on TV and read about it in the paper. That's just me. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing like Dodger Stadium. I think for me too, you look at Dodger Stadium, always felt like it was the one thing that everyone kind of did. Like you go there with your classmates, summer camp and this and that. And then you would rarely go to a Laker game, right? I mean, you go to Laker games here and there, but it was like, it always felt like the Dodgers and Dodger Stadium was the one where everyone got to go. So it would be sad if that didn't exist moving forward. But I mean, they got the product that everyone wants to see.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up too. It was like summer was Dodger Stadium,
Yeah.
Disneyland, and the Hollywood Bowl. Those are experiences that everybody who grows up here should have.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. But a great article, great piece as always. The great Bill Shaken joining us. You can follow him over on the X, and definitely go out there, read that article, because look, at the end of the day, the Dodgers and Dodger Stadium is the place to be. They're the team to watch, and it is not cheap, but they're giving us a lot of entertainment and joy throughout the season. But Bill, thank you so much for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thanks, Doug.